Welcome to my views and news. Firstly, Kenya viewers, where William Ruto was declared as the winner of presidential election held on last Tuesday. But what happened after that? Protests are being seen in some parts of Kenya. What is Raila Odinga's position about these election results? What is going to happen in coming days? Will Odinga challenge this election result or not? And how long is the period in which these results can be challenged? And if the results are challenged, Supreme Court will make a decision. How much time will be taken by the Supreme Court to make a decision? We have details for you. Secondly, viewers, Western Tigray, Humra Vulkaid, Sagede. Today, Voice of America reported that a protest was held in Kadra, the town situated on Ethiopia-Sudan border, where a massacre of civilians was committed in the second week of November 2020, when Tigray war broke out, and according to Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, ethnic Amharas were killed in that attack. Who protested in Kadra? Voice of America says that ethnic Amharas protested there in Kadra against other ethnic Amharas. What is happened? What is happening there in Western Tigray? Tigrayans are being expelled. And why are Amharas being? Why are they protesting? And lastly, viewers, Asa Nilsson is a Swedish lawmaker who opposed Eritrean Diaspora Festival held in Stockholm, Sweden a few days ago. She wrote an article in a local daily. Then Awel Seid, the Eritrean poet, responded to Asa Nilsson's allegations, and Awel Seid's message was also published by a Swedish newspaper. And today, once again, on Monday, Asa Nilsson once again wrote an article for a newspaper, Swedish newspaper. She is recommending some actions regarding Eritreans who are seeking asylum, regarding 2% tax which is charged by Eritrean government. An Eritrean diaspora community has to pay the tax. What is she recommending? We have details for you. Firstly, viewers, Kenya, William Ruto was declared as the winner of Kenyan presidential election held on last Tuesday. He got 50.49% of total cast votes. Raila Odinga got 48.85%. 50% was required to be declared a winner, and he got 25% as well in half of localities, half of counties of Kenya. So he is now the president of Kenya. Kenyan electoral board split when the decision was announced. 7-member commission split, viewers. 4 electoral commissioners opposed this decision, and one of the 4 is deputy president of IEBC, Kenyan Electoral Commission, which monitored, which counted, which tallied this election. But Wafuka, who is Electoral Board's chairman, announced this decision. So it means that there are internal splits in the commission. If there are internal splits, it means that parties will also reject this election result. Raila Odinga is silent so far. He has not said a word. But his spokesperson spoke on his behalf. He said these election results are invalid and illegal. Then Martha, who is running mate of Martha Karua, running mate of Raila Odinga, she also spoke. She said, it is not over until it is over. So she is suggesting that fight will go on. Where will this fight go on? On the streets of Kenya or at the courts of Kenya? That is the important question. Kenyan opposition party, now Raila Odinga party is opposition party, can challenge this decision within the next 7 days. And if within the next 7 days this election result is challenged at the Supreme Court, Supreme Court will hear the case. And within 2 weeks, a Supreme Court is bound to make a decision. So in coming hours, we could see announcement from Raila Odinga. Will he go to court? Will he challenge this election result or not? That remains to be seen. Meanwhile, some protests were seen in Kenya, especially in Kisumu city, a port city in on Lake Victoria. Demonstrations were held, people burned tires, security forces fired tear gas. In Kandole area of Kisumu, demonstrations were seen in some other parts of Kenya as well. Raila Odinga supporters took to the streets, though so far no large-scale demonstrations have been seen, but riots could erupt in coming hours, especially if Raila Odinga party, Raila Odinga coalition calls for demonstrations. So far, Odinga has not called for demonstrations. He has not called for restraint as well after the announcement of election results. So coming hours are very crucial for this country, viewers. Will this battle be fought at the courts or on the streets? That remains to be seen. And will Odinga challenge it or not? His party, his coalition seems to be suggesting that the results will be challenged. Meanwhile, William Ruto spoke. He announced that he will not take revenge, that he will work with all political leaders of Kenya. And he shared 4 pictures with his message, when he shared a message after his victory. And the 4 pictures are with 4 presidential candidates who fought against him. So he seems to be saying that he will work with them. He will not take revenge on anyone. But Raila Odinga is mysteriously silent. What will he do? What will he say? We'll have to wait a little. I think by tomorrow he'll speak. Everyone is waiting for him to speak. We'll update you in coming hours about this key election. Meanwhile, PM Abiy of Ethiopia congratulated William Ruto. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud of Somalia also congratulated William Ruto, though Hassan Sheikh travelled to Kenya before elections and he signed an agreement with Uhuru Kenyatta. It was being said that his visit was meant to prop up Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga seems to be losing. Now William Ruto is there. What is going to be the future of Kenya, Somalia, Kenya, Ethiopia relation? Several questions. In a separate video, we'll have a detailed look at William Ruto's election, but so far things are a little unclear. Let's wait for Raila Odinga to speak. Secondly, viewers, Western Tigray, Humra Vulkai, Sagade. Today, Voice of America said in a report that a protest was held in Kadra. When was this protest held? Not clear. Voice of America a few weeks ago traveled to Western Tigray. It was allowed access to Western Tigray, and it questioned reporting by Lucy Casa about massacres of civilians committed in Western Tigray and about evidence being destroyed of these massacres in Western Tigray. Some Voice of America journalists were given access by the Ethiopian government to Western Tigray a few weeks ago. Did this protest happen back then, or is it a new development? It's not clear. But Voice of America today confirmed that a protest was held in Kadra town on Ethiopia-Sudan border, part of Western Tigray, where hundreds of innocent civilians were killed in the second week of November 2020. Ethiopian government blamed it on Tigray fighters, that they were involved in this attack. Ethnic Amharas protested in Kadra, according to Voice of America. Why are they protesting? Voice of America claims that Amharas from the Amhara region of Ethiopia are being resettled in Western Tigray. Tigrayans are being expelled. Ethnic Amharas are being brought from Gondar, from other parts of the Amhara region, to Kadra, Umra, Sagade. An attempt is being made to change the demographic balance in Western Tigray, balance between Tigrayans and Amharas. By the way, Amhara regional government has been accusing EPRDF alliance that when EPRDF was in power and before that, tens of thousands of Amharas were forcibly pushed out of Humera Sagade by Tigrayans. That EPRDF alliance led by TPLF changed demographic picture of Western Tigray by pushing Amharas out of Western Tigray. And now same is happening, that ethnic Amharas are being resettled here and Tigrayans are being expelled. And lands are being allotted to the Amharas who are being resettled here from the Amhara region. That is why local Amharas are concerned. They say that they have been living here for decades and now other ethnic Amharas, government-backed, are being brought here and they are being given land, they are being allotted lands. So natural resources, land, others are being allotted to new settlers here. That is why ethnic Amharas reportedly protested in Kadra. Voice of America reporter claims that he was not allowed to film the protest because security officials accompanied him. Voice of America approached Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia about these protests, these claims that ethnic Amharas are being resettled in Western Tigray. And Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia said that it would investigate this claim if people lodge complaints. So it is happening. It means that Ethiopian government, Amhara regional government, they are trying to resettle ethnic Amharas from the Amhara region in Western Tigray. Lastly, viewers, Asa Nilsson, Swedish lawmaker, today wrote an article on Monday. She wrote an article for Aftonbladet, which is a Swedish newspaper. We know that when Eritrean festival in Stockholm, Sweden was about to be organized, Asa Nilsson opposed this diaspora festival. She criticized Awel Seid as well. Then Awel Seid replied, and Awel Seid reply was published by this newspaper, Aftonbladet. Awel Seid accused Asa Nilsson and the Swedish government that they were hypocrites, that Sweden was abandoning non-aligned movement. It was joining NATO. Swedish people love military. What's wrong with Eritreans loving their military? So he questioned the impartiality, the freedom of expression of Swedish government. Today, Asa Nilsson, on Monday, Asa Nilsson wrote an article, another article for Aftonbladet. What is she recommending? She says, firstly, that Eritrean government is angry after her opposition to the festival in Stockholm because Eritrean government would lose revenue if festivals are banned. Secondly, she made some recommendations to Swedish Migration Agency. She says, firstly, that those asylum seekers who have links with Eritrean government, their cases for asylum should be reviewed. If they are close to Eritrean government, they should not be given asylum. She is suggesting. Secondly, she says that asylum seekers should not be forced by Swedish Migration Agency to go to Eritrean Council, Eritrean embassies for documents like ID cards, like other documents, because if these asylum seekers have to go to Eritrean embassies, they are exploited. These asylum seekers are exploited. They are charged as well. They have to pay money and they have to pay 2% tax as well. The Swedish Migration Agency should ensure that these Eritreans don't have to go to Eritrean embassies. Those Eritreans who are seeking asylum in Sweden. Thirdly, she is recommending that assets of those Eritrean organizations and individuals in Sweden should be investigated who have close ties with Eritrean government. And lastly, she is opposing 2% Eritrean tax, which Eritrean government collects from Eritrean diaspora community. She says that Swedish government must take action. This 2% must be stopped. Like the Netherlands banned Eritrean diaspora festival, Sweden should also make similar decisions. So she has made some recommendations. Let's see, will Swedish Migration Agency listen to her recommendations or not? That remains to be seen. Sweden is a hub of Eritrean diaspora community. If festivals are banned, if Asa Nilsson's recommendations are heard and Swedish Migration Agency acts in accordance with these recommendations, it could be a serious blow to Eritrean government, to pro-Eritrean government groups as well in Stockholm, Sweden. Let's see. Thank you for watching.